Uh, Johnny asked if we had heard about the new one-up cabinets.
I have.
Miss Pac-Man, X-Men, and Buck Hunter.
Well, the ones I saw were the Versus cabinet. That was the Marvel one. Well, it's funny that they're just coming out with a Miss Pac-Man. What do you think about that lineup right there?
Well, I think Miss Pac-Man, obviously classic game. You can throw a lot of single joystick games in with it. X-Men is a personal favorite of mine.
Is that the X-Men? That's the one that's the X-Men one-up. I think is just the fighting game stuff.
Oh no, not the beat 'em up.
I'm looking right now to make sure. I think it's the one I saw. It was like X-Men, Children of the Atom, and like X-Men versus Street Fighter.
All right, I'm looking here at the Miss Pac-Man. The Miss Pac-Man is Miss Pac-Man, Galaxian. Well, I was trying to look at it.
What happened?
What up decided it wasn't my time. Yes, you use cookies. I get it. My goodness.
Yeah, I'm getting the same thing here. So X-Men has X-Men, Children of the Atom.
Oh, wait. Let's look at this Miss Pac-Man.
Okay.
Miss Pac-Man, Galaxian, Pac-Mania, and Pac-Man Plus. Well, that is a crap lineup.
A lot of people like Pac-Mania. That's when that was pretty popular. Where's Super Pac-Man? What are we doing here?
No,
Pac-Man, Pac-Mania. What were the other ones?
Galaxian.
Yeah.
And Pac-Man Plus.
Well, how did Galaxian get in there? They didn't have enough Pac games. There's your Super Pac-Man slot right there.
That is unfortunate.
What would you have put in there?
First of all,
I wonder if Miss Pac-Man has the speed chip. I wonder if that's got that ability.
Either go buttons or don't go buttons. And that's 3 maze games.
And Galaxian.
Why would you do that?
And Galaxian.
And then Galaxian. No, I think that's a horrible lineup.
Mom wants one of those desperately. She wants one of the one-up cocktails. I was talking to her just the other day. She's on and on about that. I don't know why. So we may have to buy her one of these at some point.
No, I would never do that. We'll just get her a Miss Pac-Man machine.
Yeah. Let me just get
here's
the
the problem.
Full of money.
No, I'm very much against this lineup.
Why? Why do you hate it so much? Which one do you not like the most?
You either go all Pac-Man, and like you said, add Super Pac-Man in there, and shoot.
If it's me, if you're gonna put Galaxian in a lineup, what you do is you get Galaxian, Galaga 88. That's a good lineup of shooting games. You know what I'm saying? And maybe throw Phoenix in there or something, just to mix it up a little bit. But you're right. If you're going to do a Pac-Man box, do it with all Pac-Man. Like, why would you put Miss Pac-Man and not just throw Pac-Man in? You know what I'm saying? I know they've released a Pac-Man, but why not put Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Pac and Pals, and what was the other, Pac-Man Plus or whatever?
Yeah.
And also there were some other Pac-Mans that were pretty good, aside from the fact that they dropped the ball on Super Pac-Man. They've got buttons there. Why not? Or what about Pac-Man Junior? That's a pretty popular game. Now, amongst its crowd. Professor Pac-Man.
This is interesting.
All right.
The Big Buck Hunter.
Yeah, I was wondering. Now that's got the gun, right? Is it one or 2 guns?
2 guns.
Okay.
And you've got Big Buck Hunter Pro.
Okay.
Buck Hunter Safari, Big Buck Hunter Open Season, and
Galaxian.
Big Buck Hunter Outback. That is a good cab. I mean, if that's your thing, right? Although they're missing some of the more exotic shooters. I mean, they got Safari and Outback, so that's not bad. But it has 2 guns, which you have to have. 1 button to start. That is going to sell a bajillion units.
I will say this. The Buck Hunter one opens up the possibility of some interesting modding. Because if they're using an actual light gun setup, and we don't know what they've got.
Exactly.
It would be neat if you could put, like, Area 51 or a Duck Hunt or something. You know what I'm saying? You could really mod that. If you could use that to do other games, that would be kind of neat. I'm sure someone's looking into that, one of the community. Did you look at this X-Men cabinet?
Now, yeah, I'm looking at this now. First of all, some of you know, X-Men versus Street Fighter is my absolute most favorite arcade game of all time.
It's your jam. Just say it.
And pairing it with Marvel versus Capcom, brilliant.
Well, yeah, it's a no-brainer.
Children of the Atom, okay.
I like that game. It's okay. Play the Sentinel. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
He's a bad man.
And then Mutant Apocalypse, which
what's
Mutant
that?
Apocalypse.
I don't know
I'm gonna have to look up what that one even is.
So the X-Men beat 'em up, not involved in that batch. What's up, Frodo? We're taking a little sidebar before we start the show.
X-Men. What in the world?
What?
X-Men Mutant Apocalypse is a Super Nintendo side-scrolling game. That can't be right.
How strange. How strange and unusual. It's funny because the cabinet I'm looking at, at least I'm looking at just the pictures on it, and it doesn't mention that. It's got X-Men, Children of the Atom. It's got some other X-Men. I can't read what that says.
That says Mutant Apocalypse.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. How
Yeah.
strange. Is that the subtitle for the arcade game, X-Men? You know, maybe that's just...
When you look up X-Men Mutant Apocalypse, the Super Nintendo game comes up.
Huh.
Here, let me throw arcade in here, see if that makes a difference.
I've never heard that game called Mutant Apocalypse.
Nope, that is the side-scroller.
Huh. Well, I'm sure that's not what
You
they
know
put
what?
in there.
I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Well, how strange. That's strange.
However, that's a good cab.
Yeah.
They've got proper fighting sticks in it. They've got proper button layout.
It looks good too. It looks nice.
Yes, it does.
It's even got kick art around the little booster chair that these things come with.
Oh, they don't come with them. You gotta buy them.
Yeah. That's nice.
But yeah, they rightfully so went with X-Men versus Street Fighter on the kick art, and it looks amazing. Full thumbs up for that.
I was talking to I think it was Bo the other day about these 1-up cabinets, and it's funny when or maybe on the stream, but when these things first surfaced, like because I still have a kind of a pinky toe in the arcade community because I'm set on some of the Facebook. I'm one of the leaders on these things, and the online or the arcade community despises these 1-up cabinets. They despise.
Of course they do. They cut into their profits.
Well, not necessarily just that. It's just that they always consider them cheap, and the first wave of these gave them a lot to despise. They had a lot of problems, including the control panel peeling, but now they've sort of figured it all out. I think they've got the nice plastic overlay for the control panel. And these are, I mean, having played a couple of these, they're not bad. You know, in all honesty, they got the buttons and stuff laid out. I mean, they're not bad for what you're paying. If you went out to buy, it's not like the old days when we broke in. If someone told me, hey, you could get one of these fake cabinets for $500, I'd have been like, I can get a real one for $200.
Yeah.
Those days is over. You're not going to run out and get you an X-Men versus Street Fighter cabinet. Not to mention all the headaches that those boards have, because as I recall, that's a CPS, CPS 3? It's another one of those ones you have to match up the top. That's Marvel Superheroes is one where you have to match the top A and B. Remember that they had the two different things, and you had the suicide battery crap you got to deal with. Nobody wants to deal with that crap. That's the problem. No one tells you about the hard part of owning an arcade cabinet. You know what I mean? You've got to have all this know-how and wiring skills. Oh, wow, you've got to rewire the jump harness. And no one knows what the heck a jump harness is. No one wants to screw with that stuff. Oh, your arcade monitor went bad? Well, you're boned. How are you at recapping a monitor? Well, that's a disaster. No one wants that either. Get you an LCD monitor, stick it like one of these things. You're golden, you know. But these things do flood the secondary market. And anytime you go to look up arcade stuff, you get a million of these things that come up.
Yeah, and some people who aren't, don't know there's an arcade scene out there will put, arcade cabinet for sale. No, you've got a 1-up cabinet.
Right.
And that's not to mean it's bad. There's a place for 1-up cabinets. I've always said that.
Yes.
They're not for me.
No.
If I'm gonna have a cabinet, I'm gonna have a real cabinet. But there is a place for them, and I think they are doing some brilliant stuff. Yeah. I do wish. I know that one of the ones I've played in the past, their 4-way joysticks are very loosey-goosey.
Well,
they've got a lot of play.
If you played a 4-way, you probably played one of the original lineup. And I will say they've improved. They really stepped up their game after that first set of machines came out, the first season. Their last couple seasons have been pretty good. My problem with these things, I don't really have any problem with it, to be honest with you. In fact, I will own one at some point because I'm me. And so one of these things are going to come into my possession at some. You know how things go.
The
for
Buck
me.
Hunter one would be. I mean, because I would never ever own a Buck Hunter arcade game. Just because there's not, in my viewpoint, there's not enough to do with it. And I enjoy
if it had
games.
one Buck Hunt game in it too, you're like, well, I've got this one. I'm going to get sick of playing this. But when you throw 4 of them in there, and the price is right, you might have. Now, again, I want to see what the interface with the shooting is like. Because if they've got one of these gimmicks where it just follows the cursor around like a mouse, that's not going to be any good. I want a proper light gun. But if they can get the job done, they might have something. Hey, listen, Teresa loves Buck Hunt. The kid likes it. The funny thing is, none of us would ever actually hunt. There's also, which you mentioned that. I would never go hunting. I couldn't shoot anything, and also I don't want to go. I like going out in the woods, but I don't want to carry a bunch of crap out there. But in terms of the actual game, I'm with you. There are other shooting games I'd rather see made. Maybe somewhere down the line we'll get some of these other games that we'd like to see, like Police Trainer or.
I would love to see a Carnival / Time Killer.
Time Killers, yes.
Time Cop. What is that game with the pedal? Help me out here, Aaron. Time Crisis.
Yeah. It's on the PlayStation. Yeah.
A Carnival, a Time Crisis, and then for a little old throwback, like a Police Trainer. I would buy that cab
with Aerosmith thrown in there for you.
No, that game was horrible. Also, it's a whole different type of gun.
I know. Oh, so yeah, but I'm all for the old 1-ups. Good on them. And I will say, the amount of these that are hitting the secondary market tells me that people buy these, still don't want to devote the room space for them, and then get rid of them quickly.
Yep.
And they're always trying to get at least as much or more than they paid for these, that ain't going to happen, bub.
Yeah.
But I mean, these take up less of a floor space, but one of the problems for a couple big boys like us, me and you aren't going to get together and rumble in one of these things because it's just not enough space. We've got that huge cabinet in the arcade. That's more our speed. We need something. That's got some room. But I mean, if you've got kids, or you're just going to play this by yourself, or you're a slight man or woman, then you're in business on these. I think you'd be good to go.
That's why I always thought it was funny. The pictures I saw of the TMNT, the Turtles one, where they've got 4 people around that cab. It's like, no, man.
Yeah.
Don't try to do that.
It was hard to do that in the arcade. You remember how hard? Remember that X-Men, the huge one?
8
you could have,
players,
I mean, you ever crowded in with like 6 or 7 people in that? That's brutal, man.
When you've got the characters on the edge, where your left is now like up.
Oh yeah, those people always get screwed. It's like, wow, how did I pick? Here I'm on the edge, and I got to play Dazzler. Or Colossus. It's like, oh god, this is horrible.